Thank you for watching module number 8. This module is on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, also known as PSLF, was actually passed into law in 2007, and it was designed to encourage borrowers to enter and stay in the nonprofit public sector for at least 10 years with the promise that the U.S. government would forgive any remaining direct loan debt at that time absolutely tax-free, meaning the forgiveness amount does not have to be claimed as taxable income, one of the huge benefits of this program. Now, you have to meet certain requirements to qualify for PSLF. We're going to look at those in detail on an upcoming slide. Please note that PSLF is not degree or discipline specific. Any borrower, any degree program can qualify for PSLF as long as they meet the requirements. There's a lot of misinformation about the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. We hope this module will help. Now, eligibility is not really all that complicated with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. There are three things that have to happen for you to qualify for PSLF. And folks, I can't emphasize this enough. These three things have to be happening at the same time in order for you to qualify for PSLF. Think about PSLF as a clock. It's got to tick 120 times, and it's not going to move unless all three of these things are happening at the same time. You have to make 120 timely scheduled payments with an eligible repayment plan, and that's an income plan, a plan like Pay or Repay that we discussed on a previous module. The 120 payments don't have to be consecutive, but you can't shorten the time period. You have to pay for at least 10 years. Those payments have to be on eligible loans. The only loans that qualify for forgiveness are loans that the government made, direct loans. We talked about that in an earlier module. 120 timely scheduled payments on direct loans while you are working full-time for an eligible nonprofit public sector employer. And full-time is defined as 30 hours a week or full-time as defined by the employer, whichever is greater. So for example, if you're working for a nonprofit and full-time is 38 hours a week, you have to work 38 hours a week. So those are the three requirements for qualifying for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. So the question comes up, how do I apply for the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program? Well, let's talk semantics. You don't actually apply for PSLF until you've made all 120 qualifying payments, but you can enroll in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program by submitting something called the Employment Certification Form when you start your eligible employment at a nonprofit public sector employer. We'd encourage you to do the Employment Certification Form every year because that will result in you receiving what's called an annual statement from Fed Loan Servicing, the designated loan servicer for PSLF. You'll get an annual statement every year that lets you know how many qualifying payments you've made and how many more you have to go before you qualify for PSLF. The Employment Certification Form is sent to Fed Loan Servicing regardless of who your loan servicer is. If Fed Loan Servicing is already your loan servicer, that's just the trigger to them to go out and confirm that where you're working qualifies as an eligible nonprofit employer and to start tracking your payments. If your servicer is not Fed Loan Servicing, your loans will be transferred from your current servicer to Fed Loan Servicing after they verify that your employer is a nonprofit. You want all of your payments, including the very first payment, to go to Fed Loan Servicing if you're interested in public service loan forgiveness, because they can track your payments from payment number one. So once again, be sure you do the Employment Certification Form, send it to Fed Loan Servicing as soon as you start eligible employment. And once again, they're going to confirm that your employer is an eligible public service loan forgiveness employer, and then they'll start tracking payments with an income plan once you start making payments on your student loans. Now, please note, you don't sign a contract for public service loan forgiveness. You're not committing that you're going to work in the nonprofit public sector for 10 years. You simply start making payments with an income plan on your student loans if that's the kind of repayment plan that you need. And when you do the employment certification form, that just says to Fed Loan Servicing, I want you to confirm that where I'm working qualifies, and I want you to track my payments so I always know every single year how many payments I've made and how many more I have to go before I qualify for public service loan forgiveness. You may have heard that there was a very high percentage the last 2 years of denials of borrowers who applied for forgiveness through public service loan forgiveness. The percentage was very high, 99% the past 2 years. And while the percentage is accurate, it's very misleading because many of the borrowers who applied for forgiveness under public service loan forgiveness, they were in the wrong repayment plan and they had the wrong kind of loans. Once again, the reason to track your payments with Fed Loan Servicing is so that you always know what kind of progress you are making toward public service loan forgiveness, and you would never submit an application for public service loan forgiveness without knowing you had already made the right number of payments on your student loans to qualify for PSLF. Now, no promises, but there have been proposals to eliminate and in some cases cap the forgiveness amount with public service loan forgiveness. The proposals have not passed, and all the proposals have included a provision that has said any changes would impact first-time borrowers only. So we can't make any promises about this, but it's highly unlikely that any proposed changes would impact current borrowers. You can get more information on the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program at studentaid.gov/public service. There's a great FAQ section there. And as we've already mentioned, you can download the employment certification form that you'll need to enroll in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. You'll find that form at that link, studentaid.gov/public service. We hope the information in this module on PSLF has been helpful to you. This is the end of module number 8. If you have questions about your student loans or financial aid, please contact Penn Student Financial Services. And if you have questions about general money management, please contact Financial Wellness at Penn.